Yes, yes, Sir Hairless here. Today, we're back with a Patreon request. Thank you to Juliana for this one. Now, this is a song by a group called Lawrence, and the song is called Whatcha Want, acoustic-ish. I'd never heard of Lawrence before. I don't know what this is. I have been told by Juliana that it's a soul group led by two siblings, Gracie, the main singer, and Clyde, who's playing the piano. It's an 8-piece band, and Juliana was unsure how to categorize this. She said pop, soul, rock, ? So that sounds very, very intriguing. It also sounds quite different to most things we have reacted to on this channel so far. So I think without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Eyes on me.
Eyes on me.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you need.
Tell me what you need.
It's sort of looking like clickbait. Defense, business, trying to win the crowd like a sweepstakes. Been a freak, hey, I don't need a replay. Up and down the block, running around.
Okay, this is definitely funky, with funk rhythms play a huge part, as well as the harmony. One line that we just heard right now, just before I paused, that's half why I paused it. It was in, I think, the guitar. Have a listen up for that.
Sweepstakes, been a freak, hey, I don't need a replay.
And there's two things about this line. Oh, by the way, if you've not watched my videos before, this is where I get into the analysis. So if you don't want to hear me talking about my analysis, go to the timestamp. So the two things, one is the rhythm. If we're thinking, and then the line goes bum, 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 we can see the syncopations it creates, almost like an injection of energy, very, very subtly. The second thing is the harmony. This is not a standard scale. In terms of theory, this could be part of several different scales and or in different modes. I won't get into that. The point is it's been adjusted to be non-standard and to make it a bit more funky. What I think is happening, we can think of it in terms of this. Let me try and demonstrate. So once more, this is the line down. Try and remember these notes. The B major scale goes. It's the same except for this one. The B major scale plays this, but in this song we have so instead of. Now, I'll bring up something called the circle of fifths. You don't need to worry about what it is. All this is showing is the dark green circle are major keys, the light green circle on the inside are minor keys, and you'll see that they come in pairs. Each major key has a related minor key. Why they're related is because they share the same sharps and flats. You can think of them like the black notes in their scale, so they sort of have the same scale. I just showed you the B major scale. Its relative minor is G sharp minor, and this is the overall key of this song, G sharp minor. The scale of G sharp minor, you'll see it ended with Clyde, the singer, just before we paused.
It's trying to win the crowd like a sweepstakes.
His repeated note is this one, which in G sharp minor, here's the chord, is note number 7, which turns it into the minor 7th chord. 7th chords, just with the 7th note included, they're very, very popular in funk. And to go back to the scale of G sharp minor down is this, which is these notes, but in the scale down we hear in the song, these are the notes. So really what's happening here is that notes are adjusted here and there. One is moved down, one is moved up, to move away from standard scales as we typically think of them, to make things a bit more funky. We will hear this type of thing everywhere throughout this song. Alright, talking about that rundown coming in the guitar, let's take a look at the instruments we're hearing to create this sound. We start off with, I'm going to call it the chorus. If this was choral music, I'd say it's separated bass, tenors, alto, sopranos, but this isn't, so I won't. Probably more separated like they are just because it's easier to have two people with one microphone rather than 4 or 5 or the 7 or 8 even. So we've got the vocals, how about the instruments? And as they show the instruments as we go around, you'll notice that a lot of them have microphones as well because they will also be singing, creating much more of a huge chorusy sound. Right, so we had several keyboards there, including piano. These electric ones, they'll likely have different sounds, such as a rock organ. We heard that quite prominently.
Tell me what you want.
With those sustained chords in the background. Electric, piano, synthetic sound, that kind of thing. We've got a guitar and a bass ukulele, I think this is. Various bits of percussion and the congas as well, which is super cool to see. So we have a lot, no surprise about the big sound. It was a nice a cappella opening which was quite surprising with this immediate soar up. Then we're very quickly introduced to Gracie's voice. That is not a pleasant freeze frame. Her style is apparent.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need.
We have some growls in there. She's definitely got a very powerful voice. She's very good at transitioning, it seems, from her chest voice through to the blended voice, through to the head voice. Being able to blend like that is essential for real power and versatility. Also, I like how she changes the type of sound she's producing here by changing the vowel sound. We had this weird build-up, very dissonant, kind of just showing off the instruments, I guess, almost like an orchestral tuning, which then culminates in a climactic note in the singer. So she slides up to it and we can really see the vibrato start coming in, those wobbles. Vibrato naturally is used by singers to help keep them in tune. You'll often hear belted straight tone singing that's a bit under the note, a bit flat. It's a good thing she stops when she does because she's kind of continues to rising. If she did any more, she'd go past the note that she was singing. The note that she sings, that's here. That's a G sharp. We spoke about that earlier. The key is G sharp minor, so that's the root note. And for context, this is one note below, which is the top note your typical chorister is expected to sing. And she's using a very much head voice dominated blend here. So it's not pure head voice, but mostly, and that's why it's so powerful, because of the blend. Huge range. She's definitely a performer, as we can see here.
I'm impatient. My meditation tells me it's in my head.
And so is her brother.
It's sort of looking like clipping.
And I think final thing before we carry on, yeah, the bit I showed where she walks off, they are preserving the instruments at this point.
Meditation tells me it's in my head, but then you're going again with
just percussion. My hunch says that this is kind of just to start with. It will probably become a massive sound later on. So let's carry on and see how things progress. Yeah, very funky, very energetic this, isn't it? We'll go from that little guitar line down.
Sweepstakes, been the free K, I don't need a replay. Up and down the block, running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Tell me what you want, and tell me what you need.
There's the trumpet. Saxophone. Oh, big change, sudden change. I think that's been about a minute since our last pause. I'm going to do another pause here. I was hearing other instruments. I'm scared that there's going to be more that they're going to surprise us with. I'm not sure though, but you know, the trumpet does really, really stand out, and it's so important when it comes to funk music. Sorry, I keep saying funk, but there's elements of everything in there. The rock organ, very, very typical of soul music, for example. Anyway, to go from where we carried on, this is a nice, fun little bit, and interesting from a harmonic standpoint as well.
Tell me what you want.
And that is repeated, so those notes. We're in G sharp minor. The C is interesting because that turns it into G sharp major. If it were minor, we'd be hearing this note instead. So the phrase would be,
come with me and you'll be.
So we have these two notes. The F sharp, the top note, as we saw earlier, that's the 7th note of the scale. So now we have the outlines of a G sharp 7 chord. Again, as we said, it's not minor. But also why I think this phrase sounds very interesting. If we take notes 2 and 3, that interval there, that's called a tritone. As you can guess by the name, it means 3 tones. And a tone is 2 consecutive notes. So from here, 1 tone, 2 tone, 3 tone. That interval, the tritone, it's otherwise known as Diabolus in Musica, the devil in music. It was given this name centuries ago because it's very strange sounding, and that's due to physics. It's the frequencies of the two notes and how they don't work with each other. So yeah, naturally it's a very unnatural sounding interval, and again really contributes to the funky sound that we're hearing. I mentioned the 7th note, the top note of the phrase. As you can see, it's 7 notes up from our root. Earlier, Clyde was singing this repeatedly. This phrase that we just talked about ends on the 7th note. So what does Clyde do this time?
Tell me what you want and tell me what you need.
Because of that, he is now pushed up 1 note, singing the root, which is kind of like a resolve in the sound. This phrase, to me, makes the sort of chorus a bit more interesting because the chorus starts with an octave jump. No funky 7ths or anything, just the root note to the root note again, higher up. And it's also how the whole song opens. So it's a very big statement. It's the first thing we hear. Yeah, there was the saxophone and the trumpet. Very cheeky of them to not show them at the start. And yeah, then the rock organ, what a nice sound. It reminds me of so many songs in the 60s. Handing over to the guitar and then to the piano, to Clyde for his solo. His solo is great, and I love how it doesn't need to be that accurate. The music, first and foremost, is about having fun, the energy. This is kind of true big band style or jazz style, handing over the solo to the other instruments, each for their little moment. I also think it's very cool how they keep kind of talking and jibing or making these little vocalizations in the background. It makes the sound overall much more kind of acoustic-ish, bit more of a raw sound, you know, definitely a live feel. I love the Beach Boys, and it reminds me of the very, very popular recording of Barbara Ann. That song, in case anyone doesn't know. And then a bit later on. So where we got to was a massive sudden change in feel, suddenly calm.
Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's just got something to say.
Everyone's got an opinion. Ooh, everyone's just got something to say. Go ahead, Linus.
Everyone's got an opinion, yes they do. But everyone's just got something to say.
Everyone's got opinions, yeah, yeah. Everyone's got
Something to say.
On that.
Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's
I guess they're moving around all... Sorry, just there, did you hear the highest note? Ooh, that's higher than your typical soprano's expected highest note, which is here. And nearly as high as, which is the top note in the famous aria, The Queen of the Night. Yeah, mad. Whilst we're here, just a couple of points and then we'll swiftly carry on. This change of feel, it's very, very nice. No beat, calm, nice vibrato coming through in her voice, which really complements the supporting organ sound as well, with that nice natural vibrato, albeit quite synthetic-y sound.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Almost like a wow, 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 wow. And yeah, I just like the idea. Everyone's got an opinion. This line, it's very fittingly used as a platform to showcase each individual chorus member's voice individually with a little solo line. Very nice idea, very, very natural. It doesn't seem forced. It just works really well. All right, let's carry on. We get the sense as it's going through that the energy is kind of coming back slowly.
Yeah, everyone's got
Something to say.
Everyone's got an opinion.
I like his voice especially. A bit higher set than the previous two guys that we heard. All nice though. All right, let's carry on from where we got to.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Something to say.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Everyone's got
Nice breaks there.
Everyone's got it. Everyone's got it.
Blimey, the energy there, that was a really, I don't know how much sound engineering has gone on after the fact, but, you know, let's just call it live. Really, really tight sound. I'll probably come back to that with my final thoughts. So, just a few final points. I was very surprised at her going down in her solo. Going deeper, naturally, it's a far weaker sound and things seem to be growing. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But in a way, it's good because the melodic arc has kind of been rising, rising, rising. Sometimes things need to pull down a bit before they can shoot back up. And then the next singer, Veronica. This is the different one structurally, and that's also why her solo kind of sounds the most different. It's down to the music in the background, what's happening there. So when she comes in, we now don't get the music that's been repeated for the others. We get a rising scale in the bass parts. So, you know, the lower piano, the bass ukulele maybe, which goes... That scale up. If we reverse it, it's almost the same as the one I was talking about before. But instead of this note, we have this one. So... Then it's handed back over to Gracie, and again we have a new structure in place harmonically too. She's going on a mad one there. But yeah, we get this chromatic descending bass line now. Anyone who's watched my videos before knows that I love chromaticism when it's used well. And one final surprise, really. Was not expecting that. Yeah, it's a really, really good performance. Like I say, I'm going to use the word live. Skilled musicians in here, clearly. A really, really tight sound. It's a really nice, happy song. So energetic. It would for sure put you in a good mood. I'm not sure I'd listen to this multiple times by myself at home. It's quite intense, but I can only imagine how positive and energetic things were in there when they were recording this. They're having an absolutely great time, and I'm sure if they perform this live and you saw this live, yeah, it would be great. So much fun. Wow, well that's something different for the channel. Good vibes all round, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you thought of that below. I'll leave that one there. So thank you again for this request, and thanks as always to everyone for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you'd like to support me and get access to content that's not available on YouTube, click the link on the screen now to join my Patreon, and I will see you next time.